some movement to the side drew my attention to a clown who had quietly stood out from the side of the red velvet curtains and was working his way around the ring. What he would do, the clown, was to attract the attention of a member of the audience with furious mad waving. Then, when they were focused on him, he would very obviously and slowly throw them an imaginary ball. The crowd member would mime catching the ball, then would mime throwing it back to the singed clown with a determined grin on their face. I turned back to face the ring, and the clown threw the imaginary ball in my direction. I caught it in a showy fashion, but rather than pitching it right back to where the clown expectantly waited like a puppy, I instead made a big play of studying the ball from every side, while the others sniggered around me, apart from Sage Pascal, who hissed, "Just throw it back, Kelvin, just throw it back." "Okie dokie," I said, and with a grunt threw the imaginary ball straight through the entrance and out of the tent. A faint whimpering drew my gaze to the clown's face. The man was genuinely upset at the loss of his ball, staring about him in undeniable confusion. He looked pleadingly at the audience. Then he gazed at where the ball had gone. Then he looked at the ground, and then finally he looked at me. In answer to my question about her tray, the girl looked down as if surprised that she was holding it. "It's kebab chivi," she said. "Da, I see. And what is that exactly?" She thought about it hard, screwing her face up and staring towards the roof of the tent. Da, well, kebab chivi is sort of like govelchachi, but slightly less watery." "Oh, I find that most hard to resist," I said, handing over £2 for a small polystyrene tub that had a plastic spoon sticking straight up in the food. Smilingly, I put a small globule of kebab chivi into my mouth and chewed. It tasted like Birmingham.
How do you feel the talk went?
Great. No, it was a lovely audience. Very nice. I felt a bit. Usually, I said the last two I've done have been a bit more kind of showbiz orientated. So people asking me about identity politics and the future of Marxism threw me a bit really. So I had to actually think for one. But no, it's great. I mean, audiences at these things are lovely. I mean, they're really thoughtful, decent people. It's a real privilege to come to them.
This chapter is called "The Communist Christmas on Merseyside." As 2/3 Jewish atheist communists, Christmas was a surprisingly important occasion in our house. My parents were always remarkably keen to take me to see Santa in his grotto at Lewis's department store. I suppose that they felt that Santa was a lot like Stalin. Their names were sort of similar, and they were both kindly-looking, rotund gentlemen with facial hair and red uniforms, and their headquarters were located in the northern snowy wastes and were based upon a system of slave labour. Anyway, this is chapter 11, which is called "The Great Annual Boiled Egg Pie." But the thing that came to obsess me while I was in Southport was the idea that I was so close to home, yet I was sleeping in a narrow bed in a damp boarding house. All the things that were familiar to me were a few miles away, yet here I was, bored out my mind. On the Friday, I told my mother I was going for yet another walk. Then I went to the station and caught a train to Liverpool. From the moment the train left the station, I felt like I was on the most amazing adventure because I was heading for our empty house back in Anfield. It was almost like I'd found a new way to be on a journey. The complete pointlessness of it was dizzying. I could show my bottom to the woman in the pet shop over the road and she wouldn't believe it was me. She'd say to the police, "Well, it couldn't have been Alexei Sayle, even though it looked just like him, because he's in Southport with his parents." And the police would reply, "Well, yes, but Southport isn't that far away." But she'd say, "Certainly that's true, but he's on holiday with his parents. Why would he come back?" The thought of him coming back here from Southport is literally impossible. And the police would be forced to agree. So I thought of doing that, but then I looked at my watch and saw that if I didn't get back up the coast, I'd miss the annual dinner dance. So I took the train back to Southport and never told anybody I'd been at home for the afternoon. Thank you.